we were talking like weather, the period we love the most, the period we hate the most. I have 3 dogs. I just want you girls to think. Yeah. My staircase here at the office has to be wiped down. I don't know how many times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I tried, guys, don't give me comments. I tried all those baths. Like, remember, there's 4 pat. How do you say pat? 4 paws
Pause.
per dog, 3 dogs. That's 12 paws. Not going there. I used to have this little thing I got as a gift. It's really good. You clean. It's like little things. No, it doesn't work. Okay, yes, you are in a podcast. You are in a podcast. I just had to finish my conversation. Welcome to the Millionaire, the Diamonds, and I'm going to tell you something, okay, and remind you. This is. I don't see any comments, Marie Pierre.
Oh, here
Oh,
they
they're
come.
sharing.
It's not a minute yet that we're alive.
Okay, I get a heart attack. I go, where's Sherry? Where's James? Where's Kendra? Where's Jacqueline? Where's Matthew? Where's and by the way, I just want to say something to you, Melanie and Marie-Pierre. You know, I do a lot of greet and meets and coaching. The podcast is one of the elements we're attracting people like Matthew or that beautiful girl. We heard her testimonial. The podcast is the game changer. Like, who would have thought that the podcast would also build the diamonds? You understand me what I'm saying? I'm thinking of James. I wonder if James would have lasted this long with, because at home he's challenged often if it wasn't for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Olga is just going at a whole other level. Anyways, just talking about you guys. Carolyn is there this morning. I love it. Megan, wow, you guys are recruiting more people on the podcast. Okay. Good morning, Kendra. Thank you. So again, if this is the very first time you're joining this podcast, we're a very family-oriented podcast. We really know our people, or if we don't know you, it won't be long. I'm going to know how many times you go to the bathroom, how many times you eat, what you eat, how many times you have SEA. Like, I'm going to know everything about you. And I'm not kidding you, because it's all about transformation. Transformation says this: who cares enough for you to take you by the hand and bring you to the next level? We do, for real. Because in our company, I know I'm in the Tupperware business, but it doesn't matter. In our company, we have learned the concept of what you're going to hear today. Give more than what is expected of you. Melanie Miller does what she does, even for part of the Salesforce team that don't bring her any revenues. And this is what you need to understand. If the person mentoring you, teaching you, coaching you isn't ready to do it for free, then it's a one-way street. And this is what this podcast is about. Now, all the team that's together, remember, this is all volunteer. There's no money being made here, okay? And when we do now the conferences, the $25 doesn't even pay for the expenses that requires the Zoom and everything else. Like, it's really giving back to the community. That's, when I listen to Warren Buffett and I listen to all these amazing people, they say, comes a time where you've received so much. Warren Buffett just said that I have to give it back. My family and the generations to come don't need all this money. They don't need it. Okay. So he gives it back in form of, what do they call it? For a project for, Africa, for schools, like Oprah you got to give it back. So it's our way of giving back, honestly, with all our experience and our expertise. So today I'm going to be the storyteller, real life moments in my life where giving more than what was expected became a game changer for me and where it comes from. Melanie, I'm so excited for the science behind it, and I really believe that the science behind it, simply put, my way, Melanie, if you don't give more than what is expected, there will be days that you won't do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Because only in purpose will you be able to give more than what is expected. And if you're purpose driven, come back to Sunday where I didn't feel like it. I'm purpose driven. I don't listen to I don't feel like it. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. And of course, Marie-Pierre is going to challenge you. I call her your mirror. What is the truth? Okay. So lean in, take out your notepads. It's going to be amazing. But now let's go over to Marie-Pierre, because we need to share this podcast intentionally to people that need to obey a higher purpose. And that's the word I'm going to use, because biblically, that's the words we use. And the word obey has been banished from our vocabulary. It's like seen as a negative thing. But honestly, those are the words that built Nelson Mandela's. Those are that type of wording built Martin Luther King. It was so deep. Today, everything is like, we participate, we don't win. No, winning is too aggressive. Did you participate? Am I talking to anybody? Okay. No, we win. We win. Okay. So, Marie-Pierre, over to you.
Okay, so it's time to share the podcast on every social media platform, and you have the text in the comment that you can copy paste when you share everywhere, so people understand why they should click on the link and listen to the podcast. But of course, when you have someone in mind that really needs to hear this podcast, send it directly by messenger, send it directly by text message. That's the best way to make sure that they will click on the link and listen this morning. So when you click on the arrow, you will see you have all these options when you share. And then we have our contest, Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So first, when you go on our Facebook group, Les Millionnaires des Diamants and Special Group, every time that you post, every time that you react, you leave a comment, you gain points during the month to be in the top 10 contributor of the group. And at the end of the month, the official top 10 will get the voucher to go shop on the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants and our top 10 month to date. So again, you have until the end of the month to be in the official top 10. But month to date, we have number 10 for the first time, Nadia Bonhomme in the top 10.
Ah!
Yeah,
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Send her a
number
message.
9.
Bravo, Nadia.
Number 9, we have Micheline Turmel. Number 8, Marie Larose. Number 7, Sherry Novak. Number 6, Nathalie Brochu. Number 5, Annabelle Hébert. Number 4, Kendra Seffingasol. Number 3, Lise Boucher. Number 2, Louise Gauthier. And number 1, Martha Noel. So congratulations to our top 10 month to date. So again, you have until the end of the month to be in the official top 10. And then we have a draw every month. So to be in the draw, there's two ways. First, with the boutique or with the books. So the first thing with the boutique, so when you place your order, you take a picture. You receive your order, you take a picture, and then you post on social media and you tag Les Millionnaires des Diamants to be in the draw. The at, not the hashtag, the at.
And Maria Mariano.
So the at is the way to do it, so I can see your faces, I can see your picture. So the at before writing Les Millionnaires des Diamants. And then same thing with the book. So you just receive another book, you take a picture, you're reading one of the book, you take a picture, you're doing one of the quiz book, you take a picture, you're using your agenda, you take a picture. So you can have a new picture every day to post on social media, and always tag Les Millionnaires des Diamants when you post it to be in the draw. And if you don't already have your ticket for the next conference, click on the link. It's time to join us for the next conference. And if you missed the last one, you will see that when you click on the link, you can also register to get the replay. So you have all the link to get all the conference of the year, so you can watch it in replay if you missed it too. So at the same time, register for the next one. So after that, if you won't miss any more conference during the year. Voila.
Thank you so much. Hey, welcome, Jacqueline. Welcome, Melanie. They're here. Okay, the family's in the house. We can get started. I love it. I love it. So let me dive in. The habit of doing more than paid for. Okay, if you're listening, no matter where, I think you should write it down. We must get into the habit of always delivering more than what is expected from us. There is a principle I learned at a very, very, very young age, and I didn't learn it in business. I learned it in my faith. Every Sunday we would go to church, and in the Gospel of Matthew, it says, if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, you must go two with them. And I'm just curious, who has been raised this way? Who else have we driven to always deliver more than what is expected? But digging back, that's where it comes from. That line stayed with me my entire life. Lines like, Maria, do your best, always give more. And remember, if you think nobody's watching, God is watching you. That was the upbringing I came with. And obviously I imposed that on my children. And every time I always say, my eyes are not there anymore for you, but God is watching you. So this teaches something very powerful. Don't just do what is required, do more than what is expected, not for recognition, not for applause, but because of who you choose to be. And whether you're looking at Marie-Pierre in my podcast, whether you're looking at Melanie Miller today, they all deliver more than what is expected, even with zero pay. There's no such thing, well, it's your job. No. It's all with zero pay. And this is so important. If you're not willing to do it for free, okay, there's something wrong with the picture. So I would still do what I do in my Tupperware business even for free, because it drives me to wake up early, early in the morning, to go to bed late, late, late at night, and it makes me feel good. So I don't crave vacations because I love my life. I enjoy going on vacation, don't get me wrong, but I'm not one of those people that, oh, we got to go back home. It's like after 3 days, I want to go back home, and that's where it really, really brings you. So I didn't really realize it at the time when I was doing it, but that principle later became one of my greatest advantages in my life. Let's look at a typical story in my childhood between 6 and 7 years old. I actually have a picture of that we found in the old picture, where you see me on a chair helping my mother in the kitchen, cooking and washing dishes, right? And there was many pictures of that. So I said, yeah, I remember. I was only 6, 7 years old when my mother would ask me to do the dishes. Already at that age, there was no such thing as doing the dishes and leaving the middle of the sink with an orange soapy sud and salad and rice stuck in the little hole. Already at that age, because of the mindset, because of the upbringing, that was empty. The sink was shined. My mother said, it's got to be shined off all the time. And then you got to dry the dishes. You don't wait for the dust to deposit on the dishes. You dry the dishes, you put them away. And when you put them away, you see it's crooked. You got to, and it went all in my head. And I said, I remember. And it's only because if you're going to do it right. You don't want to do it. And then secretly, my mother would say, you're going to say in your head, could have done it better myself. You want to do it and impress people, because if you're not going to impress people, she would say, don't do it. What about that story that I've said 100 times? Babysitting. We all babysat. It was the style back in the days, right? It was the la mode, right? Babysitting. But most people just kept the kids safe. They put the kids to bed and they waited for the parents. Not me. Circle back, Matthew, right? If you're asked to do something, do it twice, do it more. No. Once the kids were in bed, I swept the floors, washed the dishes, dried the dishes, put them away, organized the toys. And I just kept going, even doing laundry, folding laundry. I kept going until they came back from home. They came back home to release me from my job. And obviously, when they came back home, they were like in such awe. They felt obliged to give me a little bit more. But I didn't do it for the extra money. That's what I want you to understand. I got paid more because I was raised that way. And then I want to close off with my Tupperware business. So we all begin Tupperware. We all do. And I can give you so many examples of people that do stuff like in the 40 some years, they'll do something, but there's no intentionality behind it. There's no Matthew, verse, whatever that taught them, if you're going to do something, do it 2 times more. I came from that. So if they told me to host a Tupperware party and I realized that I was just doing a parade of plastic containers, passing order forms, I said, I can't do this. This is not how I'm raised. And that's where I brought my own element to it. This is where I began creating an experience for my Tupperware party. One of the first games I created was me asking them all their names, and then I had to repeat. They were allowed to change places, and I had to repeat it. If I missed one name, they would all get the gift. It was all about the experience. It was all about the individual human being, getting to know them for real, building connection. Nobody taught me this in the Tupperware world. This came from me. And then later on, it progressed for cooking for them. Later on, it progressed. I even used to draw a card. Like, nobody taught me this. Nobody. It was me delivering more than what is expected. Even when I went and do my surveys back then, many people did surveys, but they did it just to do them. Check. Not me. I went to do the survey to really seek first to understand, then to be understood. And it's a game changer. So the leadership lesson I want to really leave you with is this. Here is what I want you to understand. Leadership is not about asking people to do more. It's about being you, the one who does more first. If you don't do more first, no one's going to follow. No one is going to follow because they're going to follow your standards. If you have a team that doesn't work, look in the mirror. If you have a family member that doesn't do what they're supposed to do, look in the mirror. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. What you tolerate, you will duplicate. What you demonstrate, you will duplicate. What you consistently do beyond expectation or under expectation, you will duplicate. Average people do what is required. Only leaders, and I am a good leader, phenomenal leader. Only leaders do what is uncommon. Ask yourself, who are you at work? Ask yourself, in relationship, who are you? Ask yourself, in business, who are you? With yourself, ask yourself, who are you? Because that extra mile, this is where the trust is built. This is where our reputation is formed. This is where opportunities are created. And this is where leaders are born and rise to the occasion. Now, you're saying to me, oh, this is really nice, Maria. No, there's a scientific explanation. Don't worry. I surround myself with the right people. I don't have a doctorate degree, but Melanie Miller has a doctorate degree. And here is the scientific side to it. Over to you, Melanie.
Thank you, Maria. And thank you for sharing your own experiences. I think this quality, the habit of doing more than you're paid for, is something that has always come naturally to you. When we think about leadership, this quality is very easy to recognize in some people. There are people who willingly do more than is expected of them. They go above and beyond. They stay a little later, make one more phone call, help one more person, think one step ahead. And often they do it almost automatically. Then there are other people who perhaps want to be that sort of person, but after a while they begin to feel frustrated. They think, I'm doing more than anyone else. No one notices. Why should I keep doing this if nobody notices it? Perhaps what they're really looking for is recognition. They're prepared to do more, but only if someone sees it, thanks them, or rewards them for it. And then, of course, there are the clock watchers, the people who do exactly what is required and not one thing more. If the day ends at 5 o'clock, they're getting their coats on at 4:58. If something extra needs to be done, they immediately think, that's not my job. So why are people so different? Why do some people naturally do more than they're paid for, while others do only the bare minimum? It turns out there may actually be a scientific explanation. One reason lies in the way our brains respond to helping and contributing. Scientists have discovered that when people help others, make an effort, or contribute more than expected, the brain activates the same reward centers that are stimulated when we receive money, food, or praise. In other words, for some people, doing more feels good. There is what scientists call the warm glow. The act of helping, contributing, or making difference is rewarding in itself. These people are not only motivated by what they receive, they are motivated by the satisfaction of knowing they have done something worthwhile. Another important part of this process is dopamine. We often think of dopamine as the chemical released when we get a reward. But in fact, dopamine is often released during the effort itself. That means for some people, the work, the challenge, the contribution is rewarding long before the result arrives. These are often the people who enjoy the process. They love building, creating, solving, helping, improving, and perhaps that's why they are willing to do more than is required. Because they're not only working for the end result, they are enjoying becoming the kind of person that can produce the result. Psychologists also tell us that the strongest motivation is often not external. Money matters, of course, recognition matters, But for many people, the deeper motivation comes from within. They're driven by pride, by purpose, by wanting to do something well, by wanting to know that they made a difference. There is also a very human need to feel competent. Most people do not really enjoy feeling bored, underused, or as though they are simply passing the time. When we stretch ourselves, learn something new, solve a problem, or help someone else, we feel more capable, we feel stronger, we feel valuable. And there is another interesting factor. People are often more willing to do more for the people they care about. We may work harder because we do not want to let down our team, our family, our customers, or a leader we respect. The desire to belong, to contribute, and to be part of something bigger than ourselves is very powerful. In fact, research shows that appreciation often matters more than money. People are far more likely to continue giving effort when they feel that what they do matters, when they feel seen, when they feel appreciated, when they believe they are making a contribution. And I think that is particularly true in a business like ours. Most people do not continue in Tupperware simply because of the money. They stay because they feel they are helping people. They are helping someone save time, save money, eating more healthily, or perhaps building confidence in a better future. However, there is another side to this subject. Sometimes people do more than they're paid for the wrong reasons. Sometimes they overwork because they are afraid, afraid they are not good enough, afraid they will not be noticed, afraid that if they stop, people will think less of them. Or sometimes they do more because they secretly hope that if they give enough, eventually someone will recognize them, thank them, or reward them. And when that does not happen, they become resentful. They begin to feel used. They may say, I do everything around here. No one appreciates me. I'm always the one that has to do more. That is no longer true contribution. That is doing more with an emotional price attached. And eventually it becomes exhausting. The healthiest form of this habit is when we do more than paid for because it reflects who we are, because excellence matters to us, because contribution matters to us, because we want to become the sort of person who can always be relied upon. And interesting, people who do more than paid for are often the people who eventually receive more than expected. Not always immediately, not always in the way they imagined, but over time they build trust, they build skills, they build reputation. They stand out in what Napoleon Hill called a sea of mediocrity. People remember them. People recommend them. People want to work with them. And often those people become the leaders. So perhaps the habit of doing more than is paid for is not really about giving more work. Perhaps it's about becoming more generous, more dependable, more capable, more committed. So now I'm going to pass you over to Marie Pierre, who's going to help us explore this with a quiz, perhaps to discover which type of person we really are. And my question to you is, are we naturally someone who goes above and beyond? Over to you, Marie Pierre.
Thank you, Melanie. So, yes, we continue with the quiz this morning because when we hear that, oh, do more than what you're paid for, we usually think, oh, I'm going to get taken advantage of, or why would I do more for free? That's not fair. But that's not what the principle is about here, because this is not about working more for others, but it's about becoming more for yourself. Because when you choose to do more, you are not increasing your workload, but you are increasing your value. So the real question is not what I'm paid to do, but the real question is who am I becoming with through what I do. So the quiz will help you to see in each situation what is your usual standard. So let's start. So this morning you can answer A, B, or C for each question. So question number one. So someone asks you to do something simple, clear instruction. What happened? A, I do exactly what is asked. B, I do it well. Or C, I go beyond what was asked. And again, you want to be honest with yourself. It's easy to know what is the best option, but the goal here is awareness and not to have the perfect answer. Question number two. So you are cleaning a space that may be your kitchen or your office, your home. So which one is true? A, I clean what is visually. B, I clean properly. Or C, I leave it better than I found it first. Question number three. In your role now at work, so are you A, doing what is expected of you, B, doing a little more sometime, or C, consistently going above and beyond? Question number four. So you finish your task, you could stop, but you know that you could do more. So what do? A, I stop here. B, I consider doing more, or C, I take the extra step. And question number five. So it's your identity question. So are you someone who A, waits to be rewarded before doing more? B, sometimes give more? Or C, always give more because that's who you are? So did you get mostly A's, mostly B's, or mostly C's? So if you have mostly A, you are operating at the level of expectation. So you do what is required, but not what create growth. So what you want to shift here is stop asking, what do I have to do? But start asking, what more can I do? If you have now mostly B, you have the intention, but not necessarily the consistency now. So you want to shift to make doing more your standard and not the exception in your life. And if you have it mostly C, now you are building that powerful identity. So you create that value before being asked. So you want to multiply your impact. So be that example around you. So during your daily practice, so it's going to be easy to remind yourself to do more. Number one, you want to always ask the extra questions. So what is one more thing that I can do? The second thing, do what no one asked. So that is where the growth lives. And number three, finish completely. Not just that it's done, but it's done fully. Not just what is visually done, but really done the entire thing. So it's really an habit that the more that you do it, the more it's going to be natural for you to always give more than what is expected of you. But it's a habit. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the more it's natural that it will come to you. So on that, I wish you a beautiful day, and we'll see you tomorrow morning with the next part of the podcast.